In this lesson, we're going to talk about what data is available to you and also what data isn't available to you. So I'm going to be completely honest up front here. There's not a lot of great reporting when it comes to merch. There's enough to get by, and that's really it. So we're going to look at what's available, what's not available, and then throughout the rest of this section, we'll go in and actually run some reports, and I'll give you my tips and tricks for how I kind of save them each month. So let's first talk about what is available. So right when you log in on your dashboard, you're going to see recent activity. And this is the last 7 days. So it's going to show you how many shirts were sold, what the total amount of revenue brought in was, and what your royalties on that revenue was. So that's just like an at a glance type of thing. Then there's also an Analyze tab. And in here, we can do a little bit more. So right away, we get product purchases by date. And by default, this is, again, recent activity. This is the last 7 days. So it'll show you basically the same stuff, revenue, royalties, and then it'll give you a list of exactly what has been selling. So the name of the name of the shirt, and then you can drill down into it and see, if there were 5 sold, which colors, was it men, women, youth, etc. And then by shirt, it'll give you revenue and royalties. So that's from the Analyze tab. And you also get an earnings report on the Analyze tab, which is nice. So again, remember that not whatever the total amount you think you're going to make in a month isn't always final, because they have to wait 30 days out because they do give money back guarantees on those, or if there's returns, I think it's 15 days. I'm not sure. I got to look into that. But basically, that money is never guaranteed until we've kind of set that in stone. So later the following month, so let's say from October 1st to October 31st, I made $750. That's what I ran my report, and that's what I saw that I made. Well, that's not going to come in. That's not going to be set in stone until later in November. So we'll go into the earnings report and see that what that payout, basically the payout to us, is going to be. So that's the earnings report. It kind of shows you a month by month what your earnings were. So that's what's available. What isn't available? There's a couple things, but I really just want to talk about this. So unfortunately, there's no product analytics involved. And I really wish there was, because it would give us more insight into what's going on. So when I talk about product analytics, I mean, I wish I had information like number of views per page. So like on a particular t-shirt, I can see how many views that particular page is getting. If they're switching to a different color, a different size, how many were added to cart, how many were abandoned, how many impressions they're getting in search and then getting clicked on. Like all of those kind of analytics would be very helpful in determining what shirts are working and what shirts are not working, or maybe even if just titles and descriptions maybe need to be tweaked on a particular shirt. So there are some feature requests in the forums to kind of open up some of the analytics for this stuff, both this and the reports that we get for our earnings. So if you're curious about those, go check out the forums. There's a bunch of feature requests in there, and you can vote on them. And if that's something that you would like, please go ahead and vote on those. I think you get like 20 votes or something. And it's just really cool to see a lot of the feature requests that are being suggested and voted on. So that's kind of what's available, what's not available. Again, there's not a ton. This section is going to be real short. In the next lecture, we'll go ahead and walk through just the running the product purchases and looking at the earnings report, and then we'll talk about saving those and kind of what I do with those reports on a month-to-month basis. With that, let's move on.